Thank you. My name is Ankur Dobriyal, Director of Offsite Innovation at Module. We're based in Pittsburgh, and we build almost exclusively modular. We've done one panelized home in the past, but as of now, we're doing all modular. So something that we're all kind of on the same page with is we have a three-pronged problem. There's a supply shortage, labor shortage, climate crisis. Obviously, we've been beaten to death with the data that surrounds those problems, so I won't bore you guys with it, but I think we're all on the same page with everybody here that that's a common set of problems that affect all of us. So what we started with is to have an all-electric home, but then it slowly got into, okay, how can we make it more energy efficient and faster to build, especially in cities like Pittsburgh, where we have tight neighborhoods. We try to minimize our impact of construction on those neighborhoods, and then also, as a small company, maximize our resources. So what we do is what you see on the screen, factory-built product, completely modular. It's hard to put a percentage completion on it, but let's say 75 to 80% complete in the factory. We will do, obviously, all the structure and a lot of the finishes as well. Interior finishes like flooring, cabinets, all your light and plumbing fixtures are all installed in the factory. As you can see, some of the exterior stuff as well with your wrap and extra insulation all done in the factory. We've recently started to experiment with doing siding as well, and then shingles also. So general model of how we work, 3 different steps, and Rob's kind of in the middle of step number 2 with us, but step number 1, we obviously work with the customer to evaluate their project and their site to even see if it makes sense for us and more importantly for them. Once we go through that, there is obviously a design process and a permitting phase, which in terms of modular, if any of you guys are modular builders, you would know that every state kind of has their own little difference in how they certify and inspect homes, so we have to go through those processes, and that's where most of the variabilities are, because in some states it takes 2 days for approvals, in some states it takes 4 months for approvals. So I think that's kind of where we try to minimize variability, but then also set the right expectations of the customer. And then step 3, construction. In Pittsburgh, we're a all-in-one shop, so we're our own GC, we are our own developer as well, build our own homes, but outside of Pittsburgh, we work with the local GC. We have something called as the construction playbook, which basically has everything in it that a local contractor would need to finish the homes once they're delivered to the site. So our approach generally is we're a team of designers and engineers, so everything for us is at first a design problem. We build our own homes, we develop our own homes sometimes, so for us it's really not an option to say, oh, it's the on-site team's problem or this is the developer's problem, because everything is our problem. And so that's kind of how we've been trained over the last 3 or 4 years of us building in Pittsburgh. What we started to do after the first couple of homes is try and identify what the basically lowest hanging fruit of our stakeholders' problems were. So say you're a developer or a designer that is trying to work with us, what is your biggest issue that you're dealing with, and then we try to solve for that. And we have seen a lot of success, because not only does it help us solve a particular problem, but then we start to speak the stakeholders' language, and I think that's really underestimated in the industry. Is sometimes we get too customer focused and we forget we still have to work with GCs, we still have to work with inspectors, we still have to work with designers, and how do we make sure that they understand what it is that we actually do. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of wins from that we've gotten. One thing that we kept hearing on site is it takes a lot of time to set these houses, especially with the crane waiting there at $600 to $1,000 an hour, and you have a tilt-up roof that you have to set up on site. So a lot of our Pittsburgh homes now have the roof built in to the 3rd story, which you see on the house to the right, and the houses on the picture on the left is what we used to do in the past. We still do some homes like that, but for the most part, it's the picture on the right that we do. That home on the right was actually set in just under 2 hours, and I would love to say that that was planned, but we were kind of, it was a force of hand because we were on a busy street and we were not given the permission to essentially stop a bus that is on that route. So we had to time our lifts in between the buses coming in every 20 minutes, I think. So we got those 3 boxes set in 90 odd minutes. One other thing on the design side, we try and identify what the common denominators are for a lot of our customers and then just standardize our plans to those. So we, for example, our first floors, obviously, the visibility factor of any product is site dependent for the most part. But because a lot of our customers were asking for that, we made a visitable first floor common to most of our floor plans, and basically that comes right out of the door. A couple of other things like zero energy ready design and energy modeling, we've kind of built that into our designs. The certification a lot of times depends on the end customer, but as far as we're concerned, all of those things are incorporated at the base model pretty much. Value prop, I wanted to highlight just a base timeline of what the construction is like in Pittsburgh. Now that's a very long timeline, 445 days, you're nearing 15 months there, but we were typically 6 months faster than traditional construction in Pittsburgh. The modular piece of it, the set takes less than a day. Finishing up the modules takes maybe 30 days after, but we have a lot of time delays on the inspections and then all the site work and infrastructure. So, but overall, there was about a 6 month, and what that translated into is about $30,000 in savings for a builder that built all year round. So these are basically numbers that work for us, and obviously at different scales, they work differently, but that's kind of the data that we got from that. And then the energy use, obviously we were roughly half the energy consumption of our nearest new construction stick builders. So I think just being able to build to the zero energy ready standards right out the gate helped us kind of get there. Yeah, and then these are just some of the homes that we've built. The one on the top left and the bottom left are both past winners here, but just different typologies of homes that can be built modular. A lot of people assume that modular homes are just going to look like trailer homes, but I think we're trying to change that a little bit. These are some of the homes that we have built right after construction. So on the bottom right, the 2 pictures, you'll kind of see the level of finishes. The kitchen's all done. Your flooring is in, lighting, countertop, everything is in. And on the exterior, your shingles, wrap, and all of those things are installed as well. And then next for us, these are a few projects that we are under contract in the next 6 to 12 months. So we'll be doing a lot more of infill and missing middle type of projects in Pittsburgh, and then we're also moving to newer markets, the DMV area, and then the Carolinas, where we're doing a pilot with Rob. So yeah, just I at the end of it, I just wanted to touch base on our next year's sort of endeavors, what we're trying to do. Since we're building a different product that a lot of modular manufacturers are not used to, we are definitely getting into bringing our own manufacturing in-house. We're working with sort of a hub and spoke supply chain strategy. Obviously, we know how the set happens on site, but before that, we have added two steps of sort of a finishing facility in between, and then a facility that builds components at the base of it all. So phase 1, we're already here. We have a small facility right now where we're able to build a few units out of. This was definitely an R&D and workforce training endeavor, but we're already moving to phase 2, which is a 20,000 square feet finishing facility, which we're going to start in January of 2024. We would be able to do anywhere between 50 to 200 units out of there every year, depending on the size of the unit, have about 100 jobs. And then the most important thing would be in-house energy performance testing, which currently DOE has a program for manufactured homes, but not for modular homes. So it's been a pain for us to have these inspected on time in the factory. So that's something that we're looking to change. And then obviously future plans of us being in different markets and having those component manufacturing businesses around the Northeast. So hopefully in a year or two from now, that's what you'll be seeing from us. But yeah, that's it from me. Kevin, just going to hand it over to you.